Alright, everybody, welcome to Week 5 action in Arenaball Weekly as we take a look at all the leagues in arena and indoor football and coverage of the games. We cover the AIF, NAL, and IFL, and we got a good slate of games for this week here in Week 5. And let's go ahead and jump right into it. For the AIF, we have 3 games, 2 conference matchups, and 1 scrimmage. Alright, so we'll jump right into it. We got the Lions, the Columbus Lions taking on the Amarillo Venom. And what more can I say? Columbus just is the top tier team in this league. They're pretty much outmatching their opponents. And Amarillo, that didn't see a lot of bright spots in this game overall. They competed for a bit, but the Columbus Lions ended up pulling away, beating them 75-27. 75, that's a lot of points. You don't see that very often this year, that many points. So Lions looking to make a statement there. And yeah, I don't really see anybody, honestly, besides the Tritons in this league even putting up a fight. So yeah, Lions taking care of business. Venom, hopefully going to turn around. They got some, got a long season ahead of them, but they can still compete for that playoff spot for sure. Then you have the Harrisburg Stampede taking on the Maryland Eagles, and once again, you don't see this many points put up. But then again, this was a pretty big mismatch here, as the Stampede ended up beating the Maryland Eagles 84-0. The biggest takeaway there is they didn't allow a single point. So this is the second game we've seen from the Stampede. They're looking pretty good overall. Maybe they'll be a team to take it to the Lions and be able to compete for that top spot. But other than that, it was a scrimmage against a semi-pro, amateur team and the Maryland Eagles. So you can't take too much out of it. But either way, it looks good. Stampede looking good. Doing a lot of great things right, and like their setup and what they got going on. And overall, they're looking pretty good. Final game of Week 5 for the AIF. You had the Corpus Christi Tritons taking on the River Kings. And like I said, Tritons might be one of the teams to really compete with the Lions. They take care of business against the River Kings 58-38. Big win there for the Tritons. River Kings still looking like them and the Venom might be the bottom tier teams in this league. They're having a hard time competing and winning overall. But, Triton's looking really good on the opposite end. So, really excited to see that Tritons-Columbus matchup at the end of the year, the way things are shaping up throughout this year. But, props to the Tritons. Looking really good. River Kings, like I said, still got plenty of time to turn around. And, that'll be it for Week 5 of the AIF. Next up, you have in the National Arena League, we had 3 games, and some really solid matchups in this one. This was some good games. Go back to YouTube and watch them if you missed them. Bandits took on the Spartans and won 62-61. Really good game. 1-point loss. Some crazy good plays, and overall, just a solid game. Spartans looking to come in upset the Bandits. Knock them off. That's what I said from the get-go. I've been saying it, week by week. I think the Spartans are going to be, a sneaky team who's going to end up getting it together. And going to end up competing really well against these top-tier teams in the league. And just came up short against the Bandits there. Had one play that was questionable by call. And overall, Bandits take care of business, and props to the Spartans. They're really starting to get it together. Then you had the Cobras taking on the Peach State Cats. This is another one of those little scrimmage type games against a bottom division team. Peach State Cats, I believe they play in the AA2. I'm not sure. I'm not going to cover those. Cobras end up taking care of business, doing what they need to do, which is win 48-12 against them. And I think this is one of those games where they just pad up their home game schedule for the fans or whatever they need to do. But yeah, not much to say. Cobras took care of business. They beat a team that's not in the league. And finally, for Week 5 in the NAL, you had the Horsemen taking on the Las Vegas Kings. Once again, just another non-conference opponent against an amateur team or a semi-pro team, whatever they are. Didn't even know Las Vegas Kings existed until this game happened. But either way, Horsemen took care of business and won 59-6. So not much to say there. Horsemen, win against a bottom division team. Will they compete in the league at the end of the day? We saw some really good highs and lows. Will they get it all together and make a push here this season for that 4th playoff spot? Like I said, it's looking like it's beef. Bandits, Cobras for sure locks. Nothing's an absolute lock, obviously. Anything could happen, but if the playoffs were to start today, that's gonna be my top 3. So can the Horsemen make a push to get that 4th spot? We will only time will tell. But either way, besides that Bandits and Spartans game, kind of a slow weekend, of games. But the Spartans Bandits game was definitely solid. Really good matchup there. And that'll do it for Week 5 in the NAL. Now on to the IFL. You had the Iowa Barnstormers taking on the Massachusetts Pirates. Pirates, they're just looking like one of the better teams in the league, taking care of business here, winning 54-29. Iowa still looking for their first win, and Massachusetts, man, this is where they undefeated now, 4-0, 5-0. I can't remember off the top of my head, but yeah, Massachusetts is looking really good right now, and yeah, they got a good squad, well coached, a lot of good players on that team, so. Mass taking care of business there. Then the final game on Friday for the Week 5, you had San Antonio taking on the Vegas Nighthawks. And man, like I said in the last video, Week 4, Vegas just looks really impressive. They're really just doing a great job. They took care of Jacksonville. Now they beat San Antonio, the other expansion team, 66-44. And that's pretty big difference, number differential for the scores there. San Antonio look like they're having a tough time in this game overall, but they still look like they're going to compete. They're going to get it together, figure it out. You're playing one of the better teams it looks like in the IFL and the Nighthawks. So tough matchup there early on, but overall, really impressed by Nighthawks. Do we see them make a playoff push here this year? It'd be really cool if they hosted the national championship at their own stadium or arena, I should say. But yeah, that will be that game. Then on Saturday we had one game, the one solo game, and that was the Quad City Steamers taking on the Frisco Fighters. Frisco looking pretty solid like they have. They end up winning this one 54-37. They're undefeated as well, and just taking care of business. Frisco doing what Frisco does. They've always been pretty solid throughout the regular season. It's if they can win in the playoffs, make that push in the playoffs. That's what really matters at the end of the day. You can go undefeated in the regular season every single year, but if you can't make it a push in those playoffs or you can't win a championship, what do you really have to show for it? But either way, props to Frisco. They're doing what they need to do, and they beat Quad City. Then on Sunday, we had 3 matchups on Sunday. First up, you had the Tulsa Oilers taking on the Storm. Tulsa, they take care of business and they beat the Storm 56-40. Sioux Falls Storm is a little down this year, it looks like. Having a rough start as well. Oilers putting up 50 burger on them, and Oilers making some adjustments. You notice how a lot of these newer teams, they'll have a rough first year. And then the very next year, the year after that, they just turn it around, they figure it out, and they compete, and they make a name for themselves in the league. Maybe that's what Jackson is going to happen with Jackson San Antonio, but either way, good on Tulsa, getting the big win here against a pretty stout and perennial powerhouse in the Storm. They're down this year, but that's anytime you can beat the Storm. That's always something to brag about, right? When the Storm have won as many championships as they have and has been as dominant in the IFL as they have. I'm sure it won't last forever. The storm will turn around, but yeah, they're too proud of a franchise overall and team to allow this to continue. But good props on the Oilers. Way to come in and win at Sioux Falls Storm. Then on Sunday, you had the Strike Force taking on the Rattlers. And this game kind of blew me away. San Diego, they've been in the league for a while now, and they've never really competed overall. And I don't even think they made the playoffs. But they've been down for a good while since they came in the league. But here they go into Arizona, into the Snake Pit, and upset the Rattlers 55-45. Man, props to the Strike Force. You know, that's a big win. Arizona, they just didn't have it together there to close it out, but man, that's really awesome to see. You like the parity in the league. I'm sure Arizona will not allow that to continue losing, and they'll get it figured out. But Strike Force, man, you just love to see it. You love to see the bottom tier teams turning it around, figuring it out, and competing and winning games. So good on Strike Force. Way to get the win there. This should be exciting down the road when we get to the playoff season. Who's gonna come out of these matchups? You know, a lot of great matchups in the West. West is looking to be really competitive on who's going to make those playoff spots. Final game on Sunday, you had the Bay Area Panthers taking on the Tucson Sugar Skulls, and Bay Area gets the win, 44-31. Panthers looking pretty solid as well. And like I said, that you have what, man, 4 or 5 really strong teams in the West. They're at the top, and yeah, Bay Area taking care of business, winning this one as well. Tucson sticking in it into the game overall. Like I said, you only lost 44-31, but yeah, I'm sure Billy Baca, he won't allow that to continue. They'll get competitive and start winning some games for sure. And yeah, Bay Area taking care of business. And that will be it for week 5 of arena and indoor football. Here's some standings. And yeah, we see the story shaping up in all these leagues. You have some teams really pulling away at this point, and some other teams that still aren't where they need to be, but they do have time to turn it around. And just exciting, great action. Yeah. Who are your picks to make the playoffs? That's my next question. You know, week 5 now. Who are your picks for these leagues that you see making the playoffs? Just throw me in, down there a guess, or who your top teams are, and really interested to see what everyone else's thoughts are. All right, everybody, that'll do it for the video. That was week 5 Arenaball action. If you like this kind of content, please like the video and subscribe to follow along for more. Like I said, before we cover all the games weekly and the IFL, NAL, and the AIF, and news, stories, and updates on these leagues. All right, everybody, thank you. I'll see you in the next one. Be safe.